So, I've kind of been looking forward to one particular show that was going to come out on Disney Plus. Honestly, most of their stuff has been just not very good at all. Like, there's some gems in there that are okay, but for the most part, not very good. I have not seen Loki season 2, but there's one show I was kind of hoping for, I thought could turn it around, and that was Daredevil. But I just found out Daredevil got canceled. Yes, not just they're not, like, they've done this before where they're like, okay, we're going to cancel for now, we'll come back and, do it a little later. No, done. Completely done. They're going back to the drawing board, and they already filmed half the episodes. Yes, they were going to do 18 episodes when most TV shows on Disney Plus are like 6, maybe 8 if you're lucky. They were going to do 18. 18. Go back to the good old days of TV when you literally got a new episode pretty much every single week. Like back in the day, back when like Seinfeld and Friends and all that kind of stuff was on, West Wing or whatever, 24, you literally got like 22 to 26 episodes, one a week, and they took like 3 to 4 months off, and then they started up again. So I don't know what happened to that, but they can't do that now. So, but yes, it was canceled. So as you can see here from the Hollywood Reporter, spent $150 million. Fewer than half of the 18 episodes had been shot. And then Kevin Feige comes in and says, nope, we're getting rid of all of it, starting from scratch. Now they've canceled a show that I think a lot of people were pretty hyped for because the last Daredevil on Netflix was actually pretty good, at least in my opinion, compared to the stuff we get now. But I think maybe they're getting wise. They're not just canceling those episodes and then starting anew. They're getting a new director, new writers, this new everything. I mean, I'm pretty sure Charlie Cox will probably still exist as Daredevil, but they said they're going to try to use some of the scenes. Most likely they don't, if it can fit into the new story, but who knows what the new story is. Maybe some of the fight scenes they'll keep because those are usually the bigger budget ones and harder to do. But you already spent $150 million into this. Now there's a chance that they never make this again. They could just say $150 million, forget about it. Who cares? We'll just cut our losses, tax write-off, move on. But yeah, I mean, I think this is just because they've seen what's happened. Okay, you come out with Disney Plus, you have some stinkers. You're like, okay, Falcon and the Winter Soldier was meh. Like, there's some cool parts in it, but overall, it's like meh. I don't even remember them all. But it started getting bad around She-Hulk. That's when everyone has said, what is going on with Disney Plus? This is terrible. And then on top of that, they had all their Star Wars stuff, just been garbage. And I'm pretty sure they're losing subscribers. And people aren't really coming. I canceled my subscription to Disney Plus because honestly, I looked at the landscape of what's coming out and I was like, there's nothing I want to watch. Literally, I don't watch any of the shows that I got it for, any of the Disney, Marvel, or Star Wars stuff. I don't watch them because I've been burned by them. Book of Boba Fett just pretty much killed anything Star Wars after that. I was like, yeah, I'm done. And I tried to watch season 3 Mandalorian and I didn't really care for it. So Star Wars pretty much done. The last thing I watched was She-Hulk. I didn't watch Miss Marvel. I had zero desire to. Like, nothing looked good. I watched Moon Knight. I don't know when that came out. And I thought that was okay. I thought they could have played up the more psychological thriller of like, is he crazy? Is he in reality? We don't know what's going on a little more. And I think it would have been a little more satisfying for me. The ending was okay. But overall, I think their shows have been pretty bad. And I think they're finally waking up and going, okay, we need to turn this ship around because we're just going to ruin the quality of Marvel. That's what they're doing. They're ruining the quality of Marvel, and people aren't going to go watch their movies. And I guarantee you, the last Captain Marvel movie did like $1.2 or $3 billion. I guarantee you this one, maybe it cracked 700. I don't know. I know the budget is really high on this one, I'm pretty sure, if I can remember correctly. But coming out with these shows is just hurting their brand. And so thankfully they got in there and they watched the 9 episodes and they're like, this is garbage. Kind of like the Batgirl thing where they can that. And then they're like, all right, let's just start over. Because it's better to lose the $150 million and keep your brand good. So that just tells me it was bad. It must have been terrible. Just so bad. Can you imagine? You invested $150 million into something, and then you go and you're halfway done, and you're like, oh, we're going to release this in like 6 to 9 months or whenever it's supposed to come out. And no, we're not going to because it's so terrible. So bad. They think it's so bad that they are willing to lose $150 million, and they think it's just going to hurt their brand. So who did they have write this? What did they even write? I mean, that's the thing that I do not understand about writers today, like that are on comic books. It's not like if you have to start from scratch and you have to come up with compelling characters, storylines, plots, dialogue, all that kind of stuff. You literally don't have to. If you're writing for a comic book, most of the heavy lifting is done. Why? Because comic book artists and writers have already done most everything for you. They've already established the character and like, look, Daredevil, been around since the 60s. We have established who he is through trial and error. Marvel back in the day, Marvel Comics, they took the risk in like, oh, does this character work? Does he not work? You know, which villains end up working? Oh, this villain kind of sucks. We tried him a couple times. Nope, no one likes him. Like Stiltman. Come on. He's not a big character. Like, he's like a goofy thing. So they're like, okay, that character doesn't work as a villain. So they tried, tested all these different characters for years, decades, and they finally go like, just think of all the superheroes that have come and gone and no one even knows about, like the Green Llama. No one cares about the Green Llama. They did back in the day, but it didn't translate. But they tried. So Daredevil, obviously successful, because guess what? He was about to be canceled. Then Frank Miller comes along and then revamps him, and then it became like the second highest selling comic book of all time or something, or in Marvel's like catalog, because literally they're about to cancel it. They're about to cancel it until Frank Miller came on and revamped the character. So we're like, good, this works. We know, we have a writer. Develop this character, make it even good. Okay, awesome. Now we got a cool character. So as a writer who's writing for a TV show or a movie, all the heavy lifting is done. You know what characters work. You know what like different personalities of the character works. You know what storylines works. All you literally have to do is take that and then change it a little bit so it's a little bit different for like more of a TV or movie feel and kind of put your own spin on it. But most of the heavy lifting is done. So I don't know what these writers are doing. How can they bumble it so much? They get literally just, I mean, I watched The Watchmen. Zack Snyder did it, I believe. And it was literally just panel for panel, word for word. Didn't really do much. Barely changed anything at all. And I loved that movie. I thought it was a great movie. Why? Because the comic book was already good. The comic book was already good. The characters were already good. Everything was done. It's like some people put in the top 10 comic books of all time. Already done, you just translate it. That's all you have to do. So the writers, if you bumble comic book storylines and things like that, I'm sorry. You're a terrible writer. You just are, because most of the work is already done. They're like, everyone knows what the good storylines are in comics. You just take it and you're just like, okay, let's adapt it. That's all you have to do. The character's already written, the dialogue's already written, the villains are already written, everything's already written for you and drawn. So you can actually see them like, oh, this is what they look like. This is how they're going to act. Oh, so dumb. All right, so it's canceled. Maybe they'll do it. Maybe they won't. Who knows? Have a good day.